guys, it's Jennifer and welcome back to my Flagstaff home and the Holiday Home Organizing Challenge. If you have seen other videos in this series, you know that I am doing this challenge put out by Cass from Clutterbug. That's at clutterbug.com. I'll link it for you in the space below. But the whole idea of the Holiday Home Organizing Challenge is that you're not organizing your house from top to bottom right now as we're going into the holidays. What you're doing is focusing on the parts of your house that matter most leading into the holidays. So of course, we hope that we'll all get our houses completely organized from top to bottom, but you know, it's October and next month is Thanksgiving and then we have Christmas coming after that. And so things tend to get kind of crazy and we put organizing off at times like this, but this gives us a little bit of a grip on things that matter most when we're coming into the holidays. So, okay, so I had my intro video and then last week I showed you weeks 1 and 2. So I'm posting these videos every other week. Weeks 1 and 2, we're focusing on the master bedroom closet and outerwear, wherever you keep outerwear. We have a coat closet in our front room. The one thing that's really great that Cass is doing is that she provides a guide, a 56-page guide to help you go through this. And each week you get an email from her that has a link to a video, and she herself is organizing that part of her house so that you can kind of get some inspiration from her. And I love that her whole thing is not like, this is got to look Pinterest worthy, but it's sort of like good enough organizing. Like we're going to get this really nice, but it's not going to be on the cover of a magazine. So things are she's very organized and she takes a lot of time to do things just the right way, but it makes you feel a little, it seems a little bit more doable when you watch her do her projects. So this last 2 weeks, I was focusing on 2 things with the kitchen. So week 3 was organizing and decluttering the kitchen, and week 4 was doing some deep cleaning in the kitchen. So let me talk briefly about that and show you what I did. So this guide gave a list of things to declutter, like getting rid of unused coffee mugs and extra dishes and storage containers and cleaning under your sink and all that kind of stuff. And then also looking at, like, do you have a coffee station? Are your baking supplies and your spices organized? And just kind of taking a look at some of those things. And then week 4 was deep cleaning things like your fridge, freezer, oven, cabinets, walls, ceilings, all of that. Okay, so let's talk about this. I went through the list of things to get rid of, and, you know, we moved last year, so I got rid of a lot of stuff. So I sort of created my own things to tackle in the kitchen because I had some problem areas, but didn't have a lot of problem areas to tackle that were on this list. Unused utensils, I did have some water bottles to get rid of that was on here. But I had in particular these 2 side cabinets that were just a mess, quite frankly. So let me go ahead and take you into my kitchen and show you the before and the after on these things. All right, so I have 2 cabinets like this, these long, tall, narrow cabinets, one on this side, one on this side, that have just never been very well organized, and so this is what I'm going to tackle this week. So let me go ahead and show you. I have these really nice pull-out shelves that came with the house when we bought it, but things have just gotten messy. Part of it was because when we had the baby, some of the shelves became shelves for baby food and things like that, and I just never straightened it back up again. But part of it's just that they were never really great as far as being organized to begin with. So I have this one here that's just got a hodgepodge of stuff. This one has some extra additional spices, and it's a lot of, there's a lot of baking stuff in here too, like baking soda, baking powder, vanilla, you know, different extracts and stuff like that. But there's also some spice stuff here. This is for grilling stuff, but that's a big mess. The next one is just there's crock pots down there, and crock pot bags, and I think that's a spice grinder. And then down at the bottom, I've got a little food processor that needs to go somewhere else, and then those are I kind of change out my dishes twice a year, and so those are my summer dishes down there. So that one's okay, except for putting that somewhere else, and this one's okay, probably completely okay. I'm good with that grinder being there, but I really need to work on those three. But this shelf is giving me some fits. I mean, everything fits, and I know what's in here, but in the name of getting organized, I should probably do more than just have everything random in here. And let me show you, here's another thing that happens when you have stuff random. I noticed that I have this unopened bottle of Marsala cooking wine, and guess what I bought last week to make a recipe? Marsala wine. So that's what happens when you don't have a good system. Then you buy things that you already have. So I found these in my house. I was like, I know I have some baskets. And so they're really random. This is just a box that something I ordered came in, but it's really sturdy, heavy duty, so I set it aside. And I have these baskets, so I'm going to see if I can do something with one or all of these boxes to organize that shelf. Normally this kind of stuff in any other house I would have lived in, I would have had this in a cabinet, a kitchen cabinet. But I don't have quite as many cabinets in this kitchen as I have in some of my other houses. I actually used all 4 of those containers. I could have used a 5th one actually, but let me show you. I'm gonna pull this out and back up a little bit. It has equally as much stuff in it as before, but everything is organized by category now. So I won't go repurchase something that is already in here. So in this one, I have some stuff for food preservation, like making jams or pickling. That's pickling spice. Over here, this is baking stuff, baking soda, baking powder, cocoa, vanilla, other extracts, molasses, things like that. And then this one has just random seasonings. So that's, just kind of random stuff in this basket. This one has some random stuff too, seasonings. I have Creole seasoning and nutritional yeast and some bread crumbs and some other seasonings here that don't fit in my spice cabinet. My spice cabinet has quite a lot of stuff in it. And then up here, I've got some random things, honey and salt and pepper that refill my grinders and some citric acid. So while it doesn't look Pinterest worthy in how it's organized, at least I know everything is where it should be and I'll know where to look for it. This needs some tidying up. So I have some baking stuff up here, here and here, but like there's a serving thing and that shouldn't be there. I think what I need probably are maybe some baskets or something, because some of this stuff is just kind of, even though I've got these nice pull-out shelves, things are kind of falling over in there. And then here I have some serving trays, but then I also have funnels and, and then it gets messier as we go. Quite frankly, I don't know but I know that I have some of my homemade cheese making supplies down here, but there's other stuff behind it. My rice cooker is just hodgepodgey and I need to fix it. So let me show you what I did here. This is definitely baking. And I took some things out that were just making this crowded. I put my silicone mat and my, oops, sorry about that, and my little silicone brownie baking thing right back here. And then my muffin tins and loaf pans. Sorry for the noise. Then up here, this is a mix. This is definitely for baking. I have my bundt pan, which is holding my cookie cutters, and I've got my little cupcake things here. But I also put a few extra things. So these are for making popsicles, and that's a Jell-O mold. So I just tucked those in the back. But now when I opened, before when I was opening this, I had some things standing up and leaning over that were falling over, and so I moved that stuff. Same with this one. Took some stuff out of here that was just taking up space and not making this a very usable shelf. This is my serving shelf, and I have another place where I keep some larger serving items. But this is one of those serving things where you light a candle underneath to keep something warm, and this is a little cheese tray and some other serving dishes. I had this thing at the front before, which made it so I could not see the other stuff, and I was wondering the other day, like, where is that dragonfly serving dish that I have, and I couldn't see it because it was back here. So anyway, got that there. And then these are kind of random shelves, but I've got my rice cooker, which I use my funnels and my rice cooker quite often. And so then these other pans are like, there's a little griddle pan, and I can't even remember the name of this thing, but there's something very specific that I've used it for. And so there's some specific pans here that I have stacked. One of them's for making crepes. And then down here, there's an assortment of things, but now I at least can see what's here. So I have my fondue pot, and my fondue skewers are back here, and my juicer. And then all this other stuff is for cheese making. Yes, I make homemade cheese sometimes. So I have everything here. What I would like to do eventually is get some nice containers to hold everything. But at least now I can see everything and I know what I have. And I also know that I have 3 packages of cheesecloth plus more cheesecloth in here. So that's what happens when you're not organized. You tend to repurchase things you already have. So that is at least neat now. Open this up and just look at it. It just makes me breathe easier. You know, it just doesn't look like a big pig pen. Boy, that just feels like such a relief to get, especially those cabinets. Every time, and I'm opening those cabinets all the time because there's a variety of things in there, from, you know, baking stuff to extra spices and things like that. So I'm constantly opening those cabinets. And every time I do, you know, there's just part of me that cringes, but I am super excited that they are now organized. So as far as the deep cleaning goes, I have a housekeeper who comes every other week, and she's really good because I checked under appliances and everything. And so thankfully I didn't need to do anything with that. My fridge, I did take the things out and I cleaned off the shelves and the little plastic inserts that I keep different things in. And I did not need to do the freezer because we had a repair guy come last month, beginning of last month. And we had to take everything out of the freezer in order for him to do the work. So I cleaned everything up. From that, it's amazing to me how the bottom of a freezer gets messy. How does that happen? Everything's frozen, but you end up with crumbs and no. All that to say, we need to stay on top of stuff like that. So, okay, so weeks 3 and 4 are finished, and I'm super excited to be getting into weeks 5 and 6. So let's take a look at what we have. All right, so week 5 is hot spots. So your home's hot spots. Let's take a look and see what she says. This week we're tackling all of those clutter hot spots in your home and finally making time to tidy them up. Does your dining table usually hold more random stuff than it actually does food? Do you have a place where paper gets dumped? Keys get lost, all of that kind of stuff. So that's basically what we're focusing on here. So she says to start out by identifying your hot spots. Remember, all of this is in the guide right here. And so identify your hot spots. Take a look around your home and identify those areas that tend to get messy over and over again, no matter how often you tidy them up. What small changes can you make to stop the cycle of clutter in those areas? This is what I have found over the years. If you get a system that really works, things stay organized. If you try a system and things just get messy a week later or a day later or even a month later, then that system is not necessarily a bad system. It's just not the right system for you. So you have to kind of play with it and see what's going to work. So this is your opportunity to figure out what systems are going to work for your hotspot areas. So anyway, what can you do to help manage this clutter in the future? And you check off if you did something to fix it, and it gives you 3 spaces, 3 hotspot spaces. So I'm going to have to think about that. I know for sure when you come in my house from the garage, there is part of the counter kind of hooks around. The end of that tends to be a hotspot. And then I have a little bookcase thing that can get dumped on. And then there's a kitchen table. Those areas tend to be places where things get dumped. And I think I'm going to have to analyze the kinds of things that get dumped, because I'm not going to set up an organization station on my kitchen table. I mean, that's just not going to happen. But I need to figure out what's getting dumped there and find some place that's nearby where those things can go. Yeah. All right. So that's what I'm going to do for that. And then what else does she say here? Once you've decluttered and tidied up your hotspots, it's time to create homes for the items that naturally pile there. So that's exactly what I was talking about. It said this could be as simple as a basket for your papers on your kitchen counter, one for the clutter that ends up on your bedroom dresser. Maybe you need a charging station for your phones or hooks for your keys, whatever. So figuring out what gets dumped and find a way to organize that stuff so it doesn't end up in those places. Okay, that's what I'm going to focus on next week. And the week after that, what I'm going to focus on is the living areas. That's week 6. And so, what does it say? There's information. I'm not going to read all of it to you here. But it says, all right, let's take a moment to think about your living space. What are your initial thoughts? What do you want to accomplish? Mapping out clear goals will help you to achieve them. So exercise 1, before cleaning. How do I feel prior to cleaning? List some positive things that will come from cleaning your home today. And my goal for today is. Yeah, that's good to kind of process through that. All right. And then for the instructions, it says it's time to make your living areas the cozy, clean, and relaxing spaces that you and your family deserve. Let's get these spaces ready for family gatherings just in time for the holidays. And so she gives us a little list here, checklist. Tidy and organize the space, clean the cobwebs, dust off the blinds and curtains, clean any scuffs on the walls, spot clean any stains, dust electronics and knickknacks, wipe down furniture and decor, clean under the furniture, and vacuum and mop. So it's all nice and tidy just in time for the holidays. And so that way, if people happen to drop over unannounced or say, hey, I've got something to drop over for you and I'll be there in 10 minutes or whatever, we've got things pretty much under control. So we can just welcome guests with open arms and our house will look pretty good. So anyway, I would love to hear if you guys are doing this challenge with me. Like I said, Cass over at Clutterbug is providing this guide for free. And even though we are several weeks into the challenge, it does not mean that it's too late for you to start. You can jump in wherever you want to. You can get rid of the areas that maybe are not problem areas for you and just focus in on the things that will help you get ready for the holidays. So I would love to see you again on my Flagstaff home. And if you're not a current subscriber, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. YouTube will let you know when I upload new videos. So I hope I will see you guys again on my Flagstaff home. Take care. Bye.